Welcome to Headwreckas presents King TV with your host Willa, produced by the homies at Conceptual Logistics Enterprise. And this is a weekly show, or bi-weekly or monthly. We'll let you know weekly, bi-weekly or monthly, where we're just going to keep it real every time we're on here and try to bring people together in the name of love. Yes, sir.
You can't believe everything you see on the TV. You can't believe
Welcome back to King TV with your host Willa. This week we're going to talk about what everybody's been talking about this week, where Syed Farouk and his wife Tashfeen Malif walked into the Inland Regional Center in San Bernardino, California, and started an open fire on everybody, killing 14 and leaving 21 wounded. I think the age range for the victims were like 26-year-old to maybe like 61 or 62 years old. I don't know if you watched last week. I hope you did. If you did, thank you. But last week we talked about a shooting, and it seems like this is happening more and more often than it's ever has, if I can remember. The Inland Regional Center in San Bernardino was a center. I think it was a government sort of nonprofit organization that was for developmental disabled people. So they were out there trying to do good things, and it's been told that the male Syed Farouk was a worker there. So the question has been, was this a workplace difference? Like, did the guy go postal, or was this a terrorist attack? And it took him a long time to go ahead and say it was a terrorist attack because, I guess they didn't want to jump off like they didn't want to last week, where, they had the guy that killed, that I think he went into the abortion clinic or whatever like 2 weeks ago. They didn't want to say that it was a terrorist attack, and they don't want to say it is because everybody's trying to be politically correct and not offend anybody. But, this definitely was a terrorist attack because people were terrorized. I believe if you're terrorizing people, it's a terrorist attack, especially in this day and age. And especially when the wife, who I believe just came into this country from Pakistan a year ago, the male, Syed Farouk, Mr. Farouk went to Pakistan to get this mail order bride that he met offline. So I say mail order, but I'm not sure if it was mail order. But he met her offline, went to the Middle East and picked her up. They came back a year later. They're going Bonnie and Clyde on everybody out there in San Bernardino. So, it's a tragedy. And, my heart goes out to the people out of San Bernardino, the families of the ones that were lost. RIP to everybody that was lost. I hope the people that were injured get better, and hopefully we can find out exactly what happened here. We found out that the wife, Tashfeen, had recently wrote her declaration to support ISIS. So therefore, we're 100% knowing this is a terrorist attack by Islamic, where they call extremists. So, this is getting crazy, man. They went into so they go in, they shoot the people, they go out, they have a shootout like Bonnie and Clyde style. Guys hanging out the window, letting assault rifles go at the police. They finally get killed. They go to the house, they find pipe bombs, thousands of ammunition left in their apartment. I think there was a pipe bomb, like 3 of them tied together, that didn't go off in the facility. So they had this planned out. There was when it first happened, they was wondering if it was a postal thing, that the guy get upset because there was Christmas trees, or because they were celebrating Christmas, or because he had a dispute with one of the coworkers. But the facts are the facts. This was planned out. You don't all of a sudden have, thousands of rounds of ammunition at your house, or pipe bombs being built, and So this was definitely planned out. And this was a terrorist attack, and we need to call it what it is. This was a terrorist attack by Muslim extremists in America. So this is maybe, I'm not sure how many this is, but this would be, I believe, the third one in American soil. Don't quote me on that, but we had a 9/11. We had the shooter at Fort Hood, which was a Muslim extremist. They really didn't want to say he was, and I don't think they ever did. But from what I read, he was upset, and he wasn't ISIS. He was just an extremist that got upset and was seeing what was going on and took it out on the Fort Hood, on our soldiers out there at Fort Hood. And now we have this. You know, American terrorists are still the number one threat, but these guys are here, and it's hit home, and it hit California last week. So, you know, the big thing that comes out of this really is that my questions are, with all this, we've given up all our rights as far as our privacy, and a lady in America writes on Facebook that she's given her declaration to ISIS, and nobody knows what's going on, and the government doesn't catch up on that, or that information doesn't get to the government, which seems sort of strange to me. You would think in this day and age, if an American Muslim makes a dedication to ISIS on Facebook, I can't even curse on Facebook. I can't even, last time on Facebook, I had a picture of a guy catching his wife, not a picture, a video of a guy catching his wife in the bed with another woman and him going crazy, which, I probably wouldn't have done, but he went crazy and started beating everybody up. And all you could see was like blurry asses. And, I was kicked off of Facebook for a day for that. And it really wasn't anything. You couldn't really see anything. So if somebody can say they support ISIS and they're making a dedication out to ISIS, why isn't that a red light? Why wasn't this person caught like that? How can anybody, this day and age have 1,000 plus, I think it might have been 3,000 plus rounds of ammunition, buy that and not have a red light and not have somebody come knock at their door about that, especially in this day and age, especially since we have no privacy. How can you go to Pakistan, get a wife, come back and buy assault rifles and body piercing ammunition? It just doesn't seem right to me. It seems like, a question would be, how did the government not know this was going to happen, or not have their eyes on these two individuals? And if they did, why did they let this happen? I'm not talking conspiracy. It just seems weird to me that we didn't know, when you look at all the facts and when you look at what's going on, and you look at what, this day and age, and how we have no privacy. How can this even happen and they not know what's going on? And the first thing they're going to want to say about this is gun control, which we talked about a little before the show. And it's like this, they had they had pipe bombs. So sorry about that. Nathan did tell us to turn our phones off. I thought I did. My bad. But they had pipe bombs. So gun control really isn't going to help. They had pipe bombs. They're in California, where you can't have guns, right? I think it's one of the strictest places with guns. And so, is gun control helping anything? Why is that the first thing they always go to? Why not talk about being, understanding your neighbors and keeping a watch and knowing what's going on in your neighborhood? If I see somebody, I mean, I don't know how to, if you see somebody acting strange, we need to call. We need to make a judgment And even if we're wrong, better safe than sorry. If I see somebody constantly, moving around at night, how did these people getting all these guns into the house? How are they getting this pipe bomb building material in their house without anybody knowing? I think I read that there was a neighbor who did see something suspicious, but since they were Muslims, she didn't want to report it because she didn't want to feel that she was racist. Telling on somebody because you're scared doesn't necessarily mean you're racist. You're trying to be safe. So we got to be, instead of having a war on guns, we need to have a war on political correctness, and we need to start being men and our women and being more of a masculine society where if you see something going on, go ahead and tell them. You're not snitching. You're saving lives. Like if the lady actually saw these two walking into the houses with guns multiple times, and they're acting a little fishy, and you've got an argument with them about what ISIS is doing, and you see on the Facebook that they've made a dedication to ISIS. I mean, we need to speak up, and I think that's it's just a shame. And it's hard to talk about this every week, but it seems like it's a weekly occurrence. And with that being a weekly occurrence, it seems like maybe we're a little numb to it. And in this next segment, I want to talk a little bit about that. What's the difference between this and Paris? So we'll be right back. Headwreckas TV. Headwreckas presents King TV with your host Willa. Check Part B out. We'll be right back.
Can't believe everything you see on the TV. You can't believe everything you read in a magazine.